what's up, everyone? Welcome to Check Me. I want to cover this ball situation, Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball. Both of them are battling injuries, and I want to kind of talk about the situation and when to expect them to return. So everyone knows, Lonzo Ball. He's been out for some time. He hasn't played since 2022, January 1st, 2022. He initially had surgery. After that date to repair a torn meniscus in his left knee. Now, the meniscus is the padding on top of the knee so it doesn't rub together. The bones don't rub together. This is a process that, though it's not, you can. I don't have my meniscus is gone. Right, they removed one of my meniscus because it wasn't repairable. This is something that could create cartilage. And also bone just kind of in your knee, and which happened to me because my meniscus was messed up, and there was just bone inside of my knee. So he tore his meniscus, which is it's the padding, so it's almost like a marshmallow on top of your knee. It takes a longer time to heal. He said so he tore his meniscus, and then he said he'd be back in 6 to 8 weeks. After missing the rest of the season, they continue to have pain, discomfort in the knee. He had second surgery. This second surgery typically is to make sure everything clears up, make sure it heals, and whatnot. After he didn't play as well too. After that, and then he was pretty much ruled out for the rest of the season. Now, now he's going to his third surgery. This third surgery is supposed to be a surgery that's supposed to, rectify all these problems. Now, what is this surgery like? What is it? What are we looking at when it comes to this surgery? So, I did some research, right? Because I'm a guy who tore 2 ACLs. I broke the knee. I broke my knee. I had a subluxed patella. So I've been through multiple knee injuries and what to expect. So it's a 2-part surgery, pretty much where they take healthy cartilage tissue. They remove it, right, from a non-weight bearing area. Pretty much the area where he won't need weight. He won't need that weight, and they of the pretty much bone, and then they take the healthy cartilage cells, send it to a laboratory where they're grown. Then 3 to 5 weeks later, 5 weeks later, the new cells are transplanted into the damaged joint during an open surgery. So pretty much taking a cartilage and then putting it into another spot in his body, which is very common. I've seen it do with face transplants. For my ACL surgery, I had a hamstring and a patella tendon. They took my hamstring out and put it, and a hamstring is like a string, right? A hamstring is like pretty much a small string like this that in our body. So when they say pull our hamstring, so it's almost like, let me pull this up here. Your hamstring is almost like this rubber band, my necktie right here, right? I like this. Right now, it still has his tightness to it. So when I pull it, it's still tight. What happens when you pull a hamstring, it gets longer and then it gets limp. And then what happens is you can't be as explosive because it's almost like a rubber band because there's too much weight. So what happens over time, your hamstring heals and heals and heals and heals and heals over time, and it gets tight, right? You want it tight so you can be explosive. Now, here's what happens. If you heal and then you don't build strength, when you go again, you tear it again. So a complete tear of a hamstring, you have to wait for it to grow. A pulled hamstring is when it's limp. A tear is when it completely tears, right? And it takes longer to heal. So what happens is, what you want to do is, as it heals, you want to build up the strength. It's almost like an old rubber band. An old rubber band wears out after a while because it's soft. It's been used over and over and over again, so it easily tears. That's why having explosive hamstrings are important. He's young. His muscles are deteriorating. I don't know, he's like 24 years old. So, he has a lot of juice left and a lot of time for him to play. I would say for him to get back, it's just making sure that he's healing and building strength. Now, recovery time, it can take out, full recovery with transplant cartilage could be, take about 2 years to fully mature. The success rate is about 90%. 10 to 15 years after surgery, people, once fully healed, they expect the transplant to last the rest of the body. So one of the most recent developments, and I'm reading this, developments in treating the knee problems is called, it's arthro painted. So it's basically sort of a good choice for athletes instead of having a total knee replacement. That's a big thing. So recovery time, speaking 1 to 3 days in the hospital, 8 weeks for crutches. then a stationary bike for 4 to 6 weeks, swimming, elliptical ladder 8 to 12 weeks, light jogging at 1 year. So I think up to 1 year you can start doing light jogging, right, on that knee, and that's the ground and pound of it. So, hey, look, he may not play next year. I would for him. I think where would be a good spot for him would be 2 years for him to be completely safe. But he has to work up to that conditioning on that hamstring, that knee, so he can endure it. The good thing is with the knee, and it does take a lot of ground and pound, but you can strengthen the ligaments around the knee to make it stronger. Now moving on to LaMelo Ball. LaMelo, we know he has weak ankles, but I think a lot of it stem from him just pretty much he sprains the ankle 3 times this year. He fractured his right ankle. He only played 36 games. He does say he's going to be ready for summer camp, But I said this. One of the big reasons, right, he wears low tops and no ankle braces, right? Even Steph Curry switched to high tops, and he used to tape his ankle. I know when I played football, I taped my ankles and my wrists. If I wore low tops, which I should have been wearing mids, if I wore low tops, as I did, I taped my ankle, right? Having the ankle support goes a long way. They said that this offseason he's going to focus on really just strengthening his legs, strengthening his body, making sure he can strengthen his bones. But this process, it can take up to 6 weeks, for the bones to completely heal, and several months, to a year for him to gain full motion. So in both situations with the balls, the rehab and advancements of therapy can help, progress these things. Be precautious, but I would say in LaMelo's situation, ankle mobility workouts, strengthening the knee, strengthening the calf, strengthening the shin. These are all things that are going to help him kind of get back to that spot sooner and be able to, to focus and not be affected by those shin and ankle angles. So, if I were to I'm playing doctor here, right? We talk about ankle mobility. This is your foot right here. I have a boot, but this is your foot. Say this is your foot, and I'm gonna have a screwdriver, and this is your ankle right here. What happens is when you don't train those ankle angles, right, your foot here, the ligaments can tear. But if you train, right, ankle mobility, and now you can almost put your foot back to the side, etc., a lot of those stressed movements, movements that your ankle may not, typically be able to support since you've been working it, now you have a better angle of explosion, be more explosive. But the main thing is you'll be able to handle the stress of the foot and the ankle being turned in a different way. That all starts and begins with ankle mobility. So I'm sure he'll be doing a lot of that. Does he switch to high tops or mids, etc.? Tape his ankle or ankle braces? We don't know. But the look is not as important as your career. And you see a lot of guys out there just with no ankle braces, no tape, nothing going out there. But for him, I think it's a point where gaining strength and then mobility would be the biggest thing getting him back. I want to see the balls back. I love the way they play. I love what they contribute to the game. So I'm excited to see them get back, and I praying that they have a speedy recovery.